Welcome back. K-State Sports 101 still in session here on the set of Purple Power Hour. And in our final segment, we've decided to take time out of the cold winter dunks and threes to focus on the pigskin and TDs. Not many people would consider late January and early February a hotbed for football, but in reality and in the minds of true fans, this may be where champions are made. From east to west, north to south, recruits used this last week as the opening round to ink signatures on their path to collegiate career. Here at K-State, Wednesday's signing day brought some serious names to Manhattan for the '08 campaign. If you missed it, I'm here to round up the loose ends and make some predictions on some of the individuals to watch for in this class. I'm going to start with a couple of my favorite guys on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to start with a guy who's played quarterback in JUCO, but we recruited him as a running back, and that is Daniel Thomas out of Mississippi, 6'2", over 200 pounds. He's a huge body, and he really moves well on his feet. Very athletic, very agile. He could be a great 1-2 punch with Leon Patton this year in that backfield. A great guy for Josh Freeman to hand the ball off to. And maybe paving ways, my other guy on the offensive side of the ball could step in at tackle, could step in at a guard. He's Wade Wiebert out of Butler County Community College, paved the way for Bo Johnson down there on their way to a junior college national championship. I've been very impressed with Wade's highlights. He's a very, very strong individual, obviously, since he's on the offensive line, and I think he could fit right in, as I said, anywhere except the center position on our offensive line. Moving to defense, I think you've got to look at the talent at linebacker. A lot of people want to talk about Ula Pomele, but I'm going to go with his teammate, Hanson Sakona. This guy, long hair and all, he's a huge guy coming at you from behind the defensive line. He has great closing speed, just an absolute terror for K-State at the linebacking, and he'll fit in well in that 3-4 system. Moving on to my second guy on the defense, I'm going to go with a D-tackle. Probably not the one you're thinking of, though. I really like Tony Gillespie, and here's why. I think he'll have time to learn from a lot of our veterans, including some of the newcomers like Daniel Calvin and John Finau. And that gives him time to really settle in, maybe take a red shirt this season. But by the time his senior year comes around in year 4, Tony Gillespie at 6'1", 290+ pounds out of Oklahoma could really be a force in the Big 12 and maybe bring that lynch mob back to the days of old. Quickly now, we're going to move on to a couple of the guys that I think could be sleepers in this class. First, on offense, I really like Jarrell Childs out of Oak Park in Kansas City. Maybe I'm biased, maybe it's because I'm a Kansas City kid, but how can you not like a guy with his size running the way that he does? He's really a steamroller in the backfield. Probably won't see much of the field this season, but I really like the way he runs. A lot of people want to criticize that he has 4.8 speed. I challenge you to take a look at his highlights and tell me that that is not a little bit quicker than 4.8. He'll do really well. I also like Bubba Brown, one of our late commits on last Wednesday for Ron Prince. Defensively, I'm going to go back to one of my favorite positions, linebacker. A big strength for us. Probably a guy that came in this season out of Texas is Blake Slaughter. He came in, had a whole lot of hype, and then as we started to get more and more of these JUCO commits, he kind of fell off our radar. Blake Slaughter, you have not fallen off the radar here at Purple Power Hour. Very excited for him. 4 years to develop. He's got a great frame, and I think once you get Coach Ken and him in the weight room, it could mean very, very good things for Blake Slaughter. On special teams, I'm going to go down to a guy from Coffeyville, a hotbed for K-State, and that's Blair Irvin. We had Deion Murphy come from there last year in the return game. Blair Irvin could really step in and fill a void left by Jordy Nelson in the kickoff return game if Leon Patton doesn't fill that void himself. I really like Blair Irvin. He's small, he's shifty, and him and Deion Murphy would be quite a pair returning kicks. Impact-wise, I'm going to go on offense, Aubrey Quarles. I really like what this guy has to offer at 4 stars from Rivals.com. And on defense, I'm going to stick with the 4-star guys, Daniel Calvin, a huge wide frame, really going to plug some holes where we missed last year in that 3-4. He is the prototypical nose tackle, and I think he is going to slide right in easily to a starting job. Now, I could end the show there, but not so fast, my friend, in the words of Lee Corso. Here at Purple Power Hour, we've already decided to take a look at the 2009 recruits. If you want to take a look on the national spectrum, the guy I think you need to look out for, Jacoby McDaniel. No ties to K-State, but please check out his video. He's a phenomenal specimen. And other than that, I really like David Oku out of Oklahoma. 5'8", reminds me of Leon Patton, but a little bit faster and a little bit shiftier. He's ranked, I believe, in the 20s in the Rivals.com 100. He is an absolute talent. Looking at Auburn right now, but he is a guy to look out for on the national scene. Could be the 2009 version of Noel Devine. If you want to look at guys that K-State has interest in, well, I think you got to start with a guy not too far down the road from the Little Apple here. Justin Almond from Junction City really paved the way for the Blue Jays last season on their way to a breakout campaign. And I also like a couple of the guys to our east. That would be East St. Louis products, wide receivers, two four-star guys there from East St. Louis. Mo Lattimore has good relationship with a lot of the St. Louis guys, and Brandon Harold is going to help them maybe sway them towards K-State. And to our west, I really like a pair of safeties out of Colorado, Parker Orns, and a young man from Mullen, who where Chris Carney is from. He's also a safety. I really like the way he closes on the ball. Very good in coverage as well. Those are a couple guys to look forward to next season, maybe around January, inking their names to come to Manhattan. Whew. All that said, let's hope this batch of budding stars brings more banners and championships to Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Purple Power Hour. Feel free to check out this episode and many more at youtube.com/Purple Power Hour. That's all one word. But before we go, we leave you with this week's poll question. What remaining game are you looking forward to for Frank Martin's bunch? Is it Texas, at Baylor, at Kansas, or at home for a rematch against Missouri? Please send your answers to yahoo.com. Our address there, purplepowerhour@yahoo.com. Tune in next time for the answer. Until then, stay loud, stay proud, and be purple.